Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino, and welcome to my newest segment of Markets, A Look Ahead. I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about with you, but before that, allow me to say Happy Armistice Day to all of you around the world who have served. Also known as Veterans Day here in the United States. Okay, with that said, I want to put a few things together for you with regard to these markets, where they will likely go, what we will likely see. So again, we can make sense of what's going on around us in this environment, seriously. So first of all, tomorrow, Monday, the bond market here in the United States is closed. So are some major banks, the Federal Reserve, banks, stuff like that. So action in the bond market is going to be a non-event. With that said, the U.S. 10-year yield is at 3.18 right now. The dollar is still going to move around, and we're going to talk about that as well. Let's talk about this before we go look at some charts here on my website. It's no secret, and you should be laughing at this in many ways, and I've been covering it somewhat comically, I believe. All this chatter out here with regard to the bear market in crude oil. It's a bear market in crude oil. Wow! Can you believe that? Well, like I said, somewhat comically, that means that you actually might be paying less for energy, gasoline. No. You're not allowed to do that. You'll never be allowed to pay less for anything. Everything just keeps going up and up and up and up and up and up. You got it? That's just the way it's going to be, and all the nonsense you're going to hear come out of mouths of whoever, to the contrary, is misinformed. Now, what do we know is going to happen and why? And I want you to start looking for this today, tomorrow, couple of days. There's going to be a reason created, engineered, okay, to push crude oil higher, okay? And this is going to play into the markets. That's why I'm talking about this. Again, understand, and I know you do if you follow this blog, the major banks have huge investments in crude oil and in energy. So this bear market in crude will not be allowed to continue. If they have to create, even if it's not true, news put out there, which will discuss unrest in the Middle East, if they have to drop a few bombs on whoever they got to do, they'll create a reason to push crude oil higher. This will be stock market positive. It will be negative for you, the regular guy or the girl on the street. That's the way this is. I'm sorry. Either get used to it or learn to profit from it. It's that simple. Okay? With that said, my lovely friends, let's make our way over to my website. There is a link in the description of this video, which will take you to my website if you're not there. If you're there already, good. And again, please start watching my videos on my website. Everything's there for you. So if you happen to be watching one of my videos, let's say during the week, you can refer to the charts, which we're going to go over now. I try to make this so easy for you. It's all up to you as to how you want to utilize this information. So I'm going to open up my website page. Here we are. What I want to do here, as usual, first things first, let's go all the way down, center of the page at the bottom. We're going to look at this technical analysis for SPY. SPY is the ETF, Exchange Traded Fund, that tracks the S&P 500. As you can see, we have a buy signal here. I wouldn't say an overwhelmingly strong one, and we'll talk about that in a second, but a buy signal nonetheless. Again, look at this gauge. We have 2 sell signals, 9 neutral, 15 buy. Okay, let's make our way up. Right on top of this lovely gauge is my chart here, which I have for you all set up. Couldn't possibly be easier, and I think it's extremely accurate. It's been telling us what's going to happen here, and it's been working out rather well. Okay, so let's look at this chart here, SPY, again, the ETF that tracks the S&P 500. What do we notice? Well, let's look again at those three bands there. Okay, those three bands are a big tell for us as to the range or the direction of the market. Okay, if we notice, we have a whole bunch of green candlesticks here. We're now above that center green band there. This is not overwhelmingly bullish, but it is a bullish sign because it's on top of that middle band. You understand? We do have a little red candlestick there. It looks almost like a cross here. So I'm not overly worried about that, but let's keep our eye on that. Let's look at a few other things, which I always like to do with you. Let's put in GLD, enter. Okay. We see what's going on here, and this is no secret. If you watched the markets last week, I covered this pummeling of gold and silver. We got a nice fat red candlestick there below, which is going below that center band. This is bearish here. For paper gold, it's not real. It doesn't exist. It's not on the elemental chart. But let's look at SLV, enter. Same kind of thing, although worse. If you notice, that red candlestick is piercing below that lower band, also bearish. Let's look at a few other things here. Let me try this real quick. Let me see if this will even work before I tell you to do it. Okay. Put in USO oil. Very bearish here. Again, we are in this bear market here so far. And why? And just looking at this from what I just covered, you can see we're below that bottom band, okay, the blue band there. Very bearish. Doesn't mean you should be shorting this, because I guarantee you, they're going to come up with some kind of thing to prop up crude oil, which will prop up the stock market. Now let's just go right over here, right across from this chart to the bond market chart. Massive amounts of buying early on Friday. We're kind of skipping along right now. It's not going to change tomorrow with the bond market being closed. Now let's look below that at the dollar chart. Unbelievable strength here in the dollar as of late. Now we'll see how that continues to play out too. Like I alluded to earlier, the dollar is, again, I've been talking about this ridiculous degree, that the dollar is the fly in the ointment here. It will not be allowed to get too much stronger. They'll find a way to weaken it. That's just my best guess here. I want you to look at something else. Let's go right across the lovely page and look at my credit spreads. You got it? These are all my current open positions here. Now again, use these as a guide to structure your own credit spreads. All right. You shouldn't be mimicking these, but using them again as a guide. You can try to mimic these. However, when I put them up here, sometimes it's delayed a little bit. So you have to understand that. Use these as a guide for you in setting up your own spreads. Now, what I want to do, look at my stock screener right here at the top of the page, right next to this lovely video. I want you to click on that and scroll. This is so simple to use, it's ridiculous. You're going to see, like, for example, if you scroll down a little bit, look at FB, Facebook, strong sell. Johnson & Johnson, buy. Keep on scrolling down. Visa, buy. Walmart, buy. Bunch of these are sells. Strong buy, Pfizer. I want you to utilize these tools, and then you could take any of these symbols. Look, all right, for example, Facebook. It said Facebook was a strong sell. Let's play with that. Let's go to my trading chart that I have set up for you. Let's put in FB. Enter. Okay. If you notice, this looks to be correct. Why is it's saying the stock screener is saying Facebook is a sell? Well, let's look. Let's look at the chart. Not so hard. We're below the middle band, which is bearish, as you are well aware of. I just told you. and we're piercing that lower band. So that means that Facebook is more than likely going to fall under pressure. If you look at the Fisher 9, we're just about crossing over here. You see that? A little crossover. That's bearish as well on the top end of the range. So this is so easy to use, people. I want you all to win. You know how badly I want you to rip this market's face off. You could choose to let yourself be fleeced or let yourself win. And personally, I don't give a damn what direction this market goes. I just want to be on the right side of it. And that goes back to credit spreads like I was just talking about earlier. So let's just summarize real quick. Issue with crude oil will be fixed. One way or the other, they will create an environment where crude oil will go higher. However, it has to be done. Banks will not be allowed to lose. And if they do, you'll pay for it, just like you did in 2008. So just remember that. This is a rigged game, all of it. Bond market not going to be an issue, at least tomorrow. We'll see throughout the week. Dollar is the fly in the ointment here. And this is going to be just all kinds of fun this week. I honestly can't wait to see what happens over the next couple of days. And guess what? You're going to know all about it because I promise, and I promise you, I will keep you all on top of it. And it's going to be fun and lovely and probably a little freaky. With that said, I will see you in the morning. Bye.